I am here in Atlantis Paradise Island. I'm going to do a little bit of a reverse tour, how I walk here from the port, and a little bit of the marina and shops area around Atlantis. It's just in the casino. So that's right behind nearby. That's where the water park and everything else is too at the resort. So going to do a little bit of that, a little bit of around the outside of the port area, and then the port all here in Nassau, Bahamas. So let's get to it. So right here next to the marina, we have kind of a little shopping area. You can also get Ben & Jerry's ice cream right there, places to get coffee, little cafes and such. You know, it is a resort, so you're probably going to be paying resort prices, but it's a cute little area to walk around. Pop into some of these places if that's your jam. Just wanted to get a little feel for what is easy to access for anyone off of a cruise ship. You don't have to be a guest here to be able to walk through this area, to be able to enjoy these shops. See, there's a Starbucks right there. Marina's right there, and then you see the big hotel towers and the main building of the resort over there. So, sip, Paradise Island, marina on the right. And yeah, looks like this until we get a little bit more outside of this little village. And then that'll get to the bridge that, again, you can take a taxi over. I took a nice walk here this morning, but there are lots of ways to get here. Here's a little bit of a map of the Atlantis Marina and shows some of the actual shops and restaurants that are here. It's not too big of an area. So I came from here where that big resort area is, but all along here. And then if you go out up this way, it goes towards the bridge, which gets you either in or out of Paradise Atlantis Resort. So as we exit there on the pedestrian bridge here, have this nice arched bridge. There's one on that side, there's one here. Obviously, to do the walk, you have to be pretty fit or enjoy taking your time. But there are some water taxis, and you can see that's where the port is. That's where all the ships are. So, walk takes me about 30 minutes or so, maybe 40. But yeah, you can obviously take some kind of transportation. You can also take a water taxi right over here, which is a very popular way to do it. So you can do that right from the port, skip all this stuff, and just continue on a water taxi, get dropped off over here, and walk into the resort that way. So pardon any wind noise from the top of this bridge, I can't control that. I'm quite exposed, but here's a little bit of a better view of Atlantis Paradise Island as I make this walk. As we get towards the end of the bridge descent here, there's this cool soccer or football beach stadium. It's kind of neat. See what it looks like on the inside as I'm passing it. And then we take this turn off the bridge. It takes you all the way to outside the port area where there's shopping and all the outside of port types of things, normal port shops. And then there's actually inside the port where you need your SeaPass card to get in. And of course, more shopping. Along the way though, we are going to pass on this route the rum factory, which is a very popular stop. There's oftentimes a line out the door for those rum cakes. Rum cake factory rather. And I will be passing that shortly, and we'll show you all the points of interest along the way. So yeah. Living Island Real Estate. Here as we continue our trek, there's see that blue building in the background, a craft brewery, which I have been to before. Lovely people working there last time I was there. I went with some friends, it was a great time. So if you like local craft breweries, that's a cool spot I could recommend checking out. So as we continue our walk up here, as promised, here's the rum cake factory on our left side. Some people gathering outside, people leaving with their rum cake wares. Looks like there's a little action spot right there, a little bar off the side next to it, but yeah, there's the rum cake factory. At this point, we're really not too far from the port. And of course, you got Bunny's convenience store right next to it for any of your convenience needs. If you want a local experience. So yeah, keep coming onward with me if you want. Continuing on as the wind and the rain start picking up here, we have some, you know, neat murals on our what some otherwise rundown areas. I don't know if they're actively being worked on or this has been decades in the process, but see some more murals on that side. So there are pockets of obviously rundown buildings, abandoned, neglected, but then there's certain areas of revitalization, but I would say there's more rundown areas than there are revitalized ones, so keep that in mind. This isn't going to be a walk down the Ritz. I've never felt unsafe doing it. It's mostly just in disrepair in my experience, but just wanted to put that disclaimer out there as we continue on towards the port. Almost there. As we continue on, you start to see little plazas like this. Random sporting goods store with things on clearance. Again, lots of cars. Lots of people also riding ATVs. I recommend walking behind the cars that are pulling out, because they might not be keen to notice you or respect you. I don't know. If you've seen my Aruba, Curacao, if they're posted, then you'll know that on those islands, cars are very friendly. They will stop from very far away just to let you pass, even if it's not your right of way. So different island cultures, of course, all different countries with different cultures, but just about approaching the outside of the port area, you can see the ships right there in port. And as we keep going, as the rain starts coming down, there's the port on the right. But if you stay outside of the port, which I'm going to start with, then you're starting to have some nicer areas in less disrepair. We have a nice square right here on the right. There are, or on the left rather, there are carriage rides normally stationed all over this area. Pretty easy to get into a horse and buggy if that's something that you're interested in. And here's going to be the shopping all along the way. I'm going to walk through some of this. Also showcase the world famous straw market and let you see for yourself if that's something you're interested in. So you can see this is where things like Diamonds International, all the cruise port related shops and affiliated ones with partnerships will be here. Look, there's also a Crocs. You don't see a lot of Croc shops like that. I mean, at least I haven't. We have Prince George Plaza, as it says here on the sign. So yeah, look, designer bags, cigars, vapes. Octopus Nosy. Of course, Octopus Nosy, whatever that is. But yeah, that's kind of your run-of-the-mill stretch. So if you come just out of the port and go up to the street and turn right, turn left to where I just came from, you can go all the way to Paradise Island. If you go right, this is where you are. So this is where the majority of people go. How the majority of people decide to, they're gonna walk out of port. This is the way they generally go. Starbucks. More rum cakes up here. And of course a little side streets with more. That's the port right down there. It's obviously not very far out of the port. Caribbean vibes. The Black Pearl. Blackbeard's rum cake right here. And I'm just trying to navigate a bunch of different people always something different on their mind, and you know, pay attention while you're walking, and just be careful not to assume people know where they're going. T-shirt factory outlet. We are not far from the straw market. Trying not to cut too much here so that you can get a realistic idea of how long the walk would be. Some more souvenir shopping. The I Heart Nassau Discount Center and the S&S Wholesale Souvenir Store. So these are the types of things you're going to come across on the way to the straw market. And here we are. These big pillars, very colorful on the outside. No smoking zone, it says. Divided into 4 sections: wood carvers, western section, center aisle, and eastern section. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I will pop in and show you a little bit what is to be expected. See, it goes very far down. There you go. December 21st, 2011. Now, I've been in here before, and what I will say is that a lot of tight twists and turns. If you're walking single file, you can get caught behind people. So make sure you kind of don't get yourself trapped. Would be my advice. Certain places you go, you walk down, and there's people behind you, people in front of you, and of course you can ask people to get out of the way, but it's just something to keep in mind as you're making these twists and turns to the straw market.
Hi, Ansel.
Hi, how are you? Wonder if she really thinks I'm handsome. You know?
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
You got a rainy day special going on.
Rainy day special. There you go. Come on a rainy day, get the rainy day special. But anyway, so all kinds of these aisles on the inside, right? And then there's a whole wood carving section on the outside. Excuse me. And I'm almost in the free and clear. Oh, I'm in the free and clear. So these people right here, if you go right, are walking back to the ship, back to the port, where I'll be heading. If you cross to the left, you have Senor Frogs and kind of a pier dock. It's not very big, but you can kind of, without walking through those crowds all the way over there, you can see, you know, Luca Kyrie, kind of pier on the end there. So there's places to drink, there's places to eat, there's places to party. You know, there's places to do those things right outside of port. And here's another vision, striking vision against the cloudy sky of the world famous Bahamas straw market. You know, I would expect people to want to chat up with you and ask what you're looking for, as happened with me just walking right through. So just keep that in mind. It's people, they want to sell their things. So as long as you're going in with the expectation that there might be a little bit of salesmanship, I think you'll be fine. But like any of these port areas where there's kind of shopping, if you don't like pushy salesmanship, it's probably not the ideal spot. And we're just flowing right into the port here. Again, to give you a sense, fewer cuts, just how close these things are. When you're near the port, you know, and if you were docked on Carnival Freedom, you're obviously right next to this area. But Nassau's port is pretty big. A lot of different ship docks that ours today is in the very, very back. Generally, the big ships are in the very back. Just depends on the line as well, of course, but it can be a little bit of a hike from the back of the port to the area where I am now. So something to keep in mind. And the rain actually feels nice because it's not coming down so hard. I'm worried about getting drenched, but providing a little bit of coolness. Another thing to always consider when you're going out to port, that earlier in the day, it's gonna be a lot cooler, right? And likely has less of a chance of storm than in the peak heat of the afternoon. Anyone who lives in a very humid or subtropical climate knows all about that, so. Conch salad, the midnight spot, the Global Porter official port shop. So if you only do your shopping at official places, it's gotta be official. Like, I'm not getting merch unless it's official. They've got Global Porter official port shop right there. Got Shore Break, got the I Heart Nassau sign that I have to make sure to not walk in anyone's photo. Mission accomplished, I hope. Shore Break. And again, this doesn't go on too much longer, so I'm gonna keep filming just to kind of see the extent of it, but people are eating, people are drinking. General merriment abounds. A couple restrooms on the left side, little pop-up bar stand on the right side. These raindrops are getting larger, and I'm not afraid. It's actually clearing a path for me because everyone else is standing under the cover, the rain cover, and I'm saying, I gotta show these people what's going on here. The Hair Braiders Pavilion. So yeah, looks like there's a nice big place with lots of options to get your hair braided. More little stands. We have, if you want a Stitch, Lilo and Stitch, you know, stuffed animal that says Bahamas on it. I mean, I don't know if you can get that elsewhere besides the Bahamas. So, those are some options. So yeah, we're nearing the end of the port here. And then, like I said, you can see the MSC ship back there is quite far back. Their ship's even further behind that. So definitely be aware of that when you do this stuff. So flip the camera around. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched all the way to the end, I hope it gave you a little bit of a taste of what it's like here. You can also see the massive line I'm about to get in to show my ID and my SeaPass card to get back on board, which make sure you bring your ID, your photo ID, and your SeaPass card. You need both at this port. A lot of ports, just the SeaPass card is fine. Here you need both. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, please consider leaving a like. Please consider subscribing or sharing with anyone you might think is interested in this, maybe some fellow cruisers or someone who might potentially be interested. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.